Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here with an unboxing video and first impressions of the Alcatel 3V. So this is their giant phone. It's got a 6.7-inch screen on it. It's got a 4,000 milliamp battery. It's got a 16 megapixel camera on the back. It's capable of doing portrait photos, so you get the bokeh effect and all that good stuff. It has 3 gigabytes of RAM, and it's got a MediaTek Helio P22 processor in it. But that's just some of the grassroots level hardware information. What that doesn't tell you is, what the phone looks like, all about the experience. And I've been using it for about a week now, but I did go ahead and record the unboxing footage so I could go through and show you what the phone looks like, see the contents in the box and all that cool stuff. So enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and dive in and take a look and see the unboxing experience and talk about some of the first impressions for the brand new Alcatel 3V. Alright, so here we are with the Alcatel 3V. This is a 2019 version. It's got all the bells and whistles on it. Like I said, it's got a 6.7-inch display on it. It rocks in at 240 pixels per inch, so it's got a 720 by 1440 resolution on it. Now, it's got 4G LTE, of course. It's running Android 9.0, and it has a 16 megapixel rear camera with also a 5 megapixel sensor, so you can get the bokeh effect and the portrait mode photos like I was talking about. The processor is clocked at 2 gigahertz, 32 gigabytes of internal storage, which of course it's expandable, 8 megapixel camera on the front, and pretty much everything you could possibly need. Now, one thing I did notice after taking it out of the box and playing around with it, it's surprisingly light for such a large phone, and it seems like the whole thing's basically made out of probably polycarbonate or plastic. There's not a whole lot of metal on this thing, so that helps keep the weight down, which is one nice thing, especially if you have a phone that's so big. Now, the display is nice. It does have this 720p, which is HD. It's not full HD resolution, but it doesn't look bad at all. And the screen, even with the bezels on there, it feels pretty nice. And I didn't really feel like everything was squished or oversized when it came to the bezels around the edges. It has this nice graphite looking color on the back. And overall, I've been really impressed with it. And I'm talking more about also some of the hands-on experience with regard to that and also the unboxing. But you can see here, fingerprint sensor on the back. There's the camera set up with your LED flash. You can see your reflection in it. And there's the headphone jack on the top as well, which is something that some people will still appreciate moving into the year 2020. But anyway, I have been using it quite a bit here recently, and I've been impressed with how zippy it is. It's very responsive for normal day-to-day stuff, especially for like social media and some casual gaming. Of course, I tried playing like Mario Kart and it just wasn't powerful enough for that. But a lot of other stuff, it does work fine. Now, here's the charging brick, and let's see what it's rated at. All right, so we're looking at 5 volts and 3 amps. So you do get quick charge, which is nice, especially since it has a 4,000 milliamp battery. But what's nice is the P22 is a good processor. It's nice for multitasking and for normal day-to-day use, and it's not overly big on power consumption. So that 4,000 milliamp battery combined with the HD 720p resolution should last you for quite a while. And the standby time is really nice too. Now, in addition to that, we also have the charging cable here. Now, it does use a USB-C charging cable, which I'm happy about. So even though it is some more dated hardware specs with regard to like the processor being a year old, the USB-C charger is intact and they didn't throw a micro USB. So I am happy about that. Now, there's not a whole lot else in the box. The unboxing process is fairly simple. We've got the SIM ejector tool. So you really got everything that you need straight out of the box so you can get up and running with your brand new Alcatel 3V phone. Now, I do want to go ahead and say this was sent out as a review unit, so I wasn't compensated for this in any way. This is not sponsored, and they're not getting to see this before you guys are. But I have really enjoyed using the phone, and here in a second, I'm going to get into some hands-on time. So I'm going to show off some of the additional features that this phone has to offer outside of just taking it out of the box and being able to see the little hi there screen whenever you fire it up. But with a 6.7-inch display, I really haven't found myself feeling like I'm missing out on anything. Just using it for day-to-day stuff. I've used it a lot for social media, especially for Twitter, and also for some casual gaming and some internet browsing, just to really test it out. and I like it quite a bit. And the screen is pretty nice actually, even though it's not an OLED or an AMOLED display. Now, here's taking a closer look at the phone. We've got the SIM card tray on the left side of the phone, and then on the bottom, you've got the speaker setup, and then the USB Type-C charger. And over here, I already showed you this, but you've got the power button and the volume rocker there as well. Now, I do want to show you the facial recognition. Yes, it does do basic facial recognition. So you can see there, I mean, my face is off the screen, but you can see that it actually does work and it unlocks. It's not actual facial scanning. It's not like the Face ID sensor on your iPhone, but it is good enough that it works pretty well. And then the fingerprint sensor is nice and responsive as well, as demonstrated there also. Again, there's the 3.5mm headphone jack on top, and then we have the 16 megapixel camera here on the back with the 5 megapixel sensor. Now, I haven't got to go out and take a whole lot of pictures with it yet. Whenever I do my full review, I'll go more in depth on the photograph capabilities, and of course I'll include some of those. But I think that it should be pretty decent with the 16 megapixel camera. So I've covered most of the basics here with regard to the hardware on it, but let's go ahead and see how it performs for some simple day-to-day stuff. So here's my Twitter feed. You can see that it's nice and smooth, especially once you open it up and it has a second to load. I haven't used this today, so it did take a second to load some of the stuff there, but Twitter works nice, YouTube works well, and of course with the Android 9.0, it does picture in picture, so you can watch it on the small little window down on the screen, which is really nice since it has such a really large real estate on the device. Now, let's fire up my video here real quick so you can see the load time. The colors are nice and vibrant, and the YouTube app works really well. And I think that this is probably going to be some stuff that's important for people who are interested in this phone, because this is not like a flagship phone. It's not like the Note series or the S10 Plus or the iPhone. It's an Alcatel phone that comes in at a good budget price, but at the same time, you get some of the nice things like this huge display, and you can see that it looks pretty sharp even with the 720p display at 60 frames per second. So I have been impressed with that. And then here's the picture in picture, and of course you can move it around on the screen pretty much wherever you want, which is a nice thing as well. And that works with like your Google Maps and lots of other things as well that are integrated into the Android 9.0 experience. Here's your Google feed over here, so you can just swipe to the right and that'll pull up, and you can scroll through and see some of the recommended stuff that it has for you based off of how you use your phone. And then there's the app drawer. You just swipe up for that, and I really like that. I like having the swipe up for the app drawer. I don't like having everything cluttering up my screen. So also here is a Chrome browser, so you can see how well the browser works on this. And this is something that I really kind of want to tie together. So I've showed off Twitter, I've showed off the internet browser here and some of the other stuff. It really just is to show the nice, normal, seamless experience that you get out of this. So if you decide that you want to get a phone like this, you're not going to be missing out. It's nice, smooth page flipping. The apps work well, and it does have 3 gigabytes of RAM. So that's something that I could see might be a little bit of a drawback. If you load up a ton of stuff, of course, that'll slow it down a little bit. But as long as you're being on top of managing your apps and closing stuff out relatively often, or at least every once in a while, you shouldn't have a problem. Now, here also I want to show off the typing experience. This is with the Gboard keyboard extension, which is already installed on the phone straight out of the box. So it does work well for typing. The haptic feedback experience is nice. It has a very strong motor in it, but since the whole phone is basically plastic, the vibration is not very pinpointed. So it's not one of those isolated vibration things. You kind of feel it mostly throughout the phone, as opposed to like kind of just where you're typing, but it's not distracting, and it's not something that really messes up the typing experience like some other vibration motors that I've used in older phones. So I think that it's all right. Now, that's pretty much all that I have with the Alcatel 3V on my unboxing and my first impression experience. Actually, there's one other thing that I want to show off. So the finish on the back does look really nice, but you can see it's kind of smudgy there. And I just cleaned it, not too long ago. I did wipe it off some before the video just so it would look nicer. It's really good about picking up the oils and stuff on your fingers. So if you can get a case for it, then that would probably be best. Otherwise, you're going to have to live with this smudgy looking finish on the phone. So I just wanted to highlight that real quick. But overall, everything else, I've been really happy with it. And my first impressions are really solid for it. And I'm looking forward to finishing out the full review on it. but I did want to go ahead and take the time so you could have an opportunity to see what's in the box and get a first look at this device. So that's all I've got in this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. As always, hit the like and the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. Hit the little notification bell for the latest and greatest. And as always, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys next time.